Does someone turn around and tell her they're just telling you that because they want to sleep with you? Women in accountability, kryptonite. Dating is a small facet of why the empire is falling. Passport Bros is getting some play.
Right?
Shout out to the Passport Bros.
Right, there you go. So what's happening is America doesn't understand, and I guess women don't understand, that what they're doing is that they're pushing their men away. So they're pushing their men away to these other countries
They're
and then
dusties,
cursing
remember?
them out for going to these other countries while pushing them away. So it's a whole vicious cycle of what's going on in America. I actually think, like you said, America's birth rate is going to get like Japan's, and what is going to happen is that Americans are going to be having babies with other women from other countries, and I think we're seeing the fall of America. Actually, I think we're seeing it in real time.
That's what it's abuse. So what do you say? If I don't want you, no one else can have you. And then you see these women that's like, oh, they're broken, dusty. They can't get women. They can't get up with a woman like me. But that's why they have to go there. But they reject these men, treat these men like crap. And then when they go and these men, and first of all, this is pride to think you're better than a woman who in another country. Just because she's in another country, you're so much better than her. That just shows like you're all for women and you want women to win, but yet these women from these other countries, they're poor. They'll just get with a man for a sandwich. I mean, I've just seen the most deranged things.
Why don't we learn from them?
It's abusive.
Why don't we learn? It's like
absolutely. I've talked about
if someone's getting an A in a class, you don't get mad at them. You take notes. Why are they winning?
Facts.
Why are they winning?
It's pride.
It's
we feel like we own our men in our culture, and it's like if I reject you, and a lot of times women are not wanting to compete. If I use the word compete with women, they're just like, I don't have to compete. Love is love.
He should like me for me.
Right. They don't want you having more options outside of what they're giving you. So like they want you to accept their lower standards.
I think that's why women shame men for having standards, is because then they don't have to compete for a man.
Absolutely.
If we can convince him that we're the best and have slept around, we're overweight, we're like anything that a guy, when we're older, then we don't have to compete. We don't have to bring in.
It's not just competing, it's accountability. Women in accountability, kryptonite. It's really what it is. You want to be able to make all the decisions in life and be free of any consequences, period. I want my fun and my cake too. So after I'm done getting pumped up by Chad and Tyrone, I want Prince Charming to come along, put the ring on my finger, and put me in the castle too. It's not going to happen.
Anything else to the table?
Modern women today will shame, insult, and guilt you out of your standards. They will shame, insult, and guilt you out of your requirements.
And how can we improve if we don't even admit there's a problem? If you're overweight, the first thing you have to do is weigh yourself. But as women, we can't even weigh.
You know, it's an issue that stems from both genders because men are enabling this as well. So women enable the bad boys to get laid, and then men enable sloppy ass women to get by and coast through life. That's the issue here. If either side started having some real standards, the other would change right away. That's the reality of the situation. So really both are to blame, but that doesn't make for a spicy, 30-second rip you could put on a short.
Weigh ourselves without pointing at the men.
No. But then that's why I said it's. I really do believe, like on a deeper note, I believe we're watching the fall of a nation right in front of our eyes. I actually believe that we're watching the fall of the West in general right in front of our eyes. And I said and I say that because the women are degenerating, in my personal opinion. The women are degenerating.
I mean, that's a hot take. To blame, I don't know if he blames women, but dating is a small facet of why the empire is falling. Economic realities of a multipolar world that's being unveiled right in front of us with bricks. That's one of them. Our politicians not being real leaders, just managers off all the country's wealth. That's another one. We have a broken capitalist system that's kind of working, kind of doesn't, with no rail guards in place. We have socialized losses and privatized gains. They tell us socialism's bad for us, but the moment rich people need it, it's all your fault, Jerome Powell. I see you in the chat. But the moment a big company needs it, they're too big to fail. We have to save them, but they won't save the little guy. Oh my God, dude, this is such a multifaceted issue. I hate when the conversation takes this reductionist view of it's just a family crumbling, it's just women, it's just men. Bro, they're one of the last in the line of things to blame. How do you think we got to the point where men and women are so messed up and disconnected today? How do you think we got to the point where the family system is so broken?
The whole society goes to pot. The men are now saying that they can be women now. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying the whole society is going to pot. So we can sit here because for me, I think it's not just relationships that need saving. It's the whole society.
Do you think looking at women, you can tell what a society looks like? Like if you want to see what a society looks like, you look at the women.
100%. You can look at society, and that is why men are flying over from the West to another country and getting play. The women from the West, they can't fly over somewhere else to go and get men.
No,
that's not right.
Jesus Christ, these takes are killing me, man.
Absolutely no way they can go over and get men from over there. They'll be like, there's no way I'm dealing with that.
Women cannot go. We don't have the same. If Western men are not wanting us and can't deal with us, we can't get a man here. Men from more traditional countries, which the vast majority of the other countries in the world are way more traditional than the West, especially the U.S. I don't know about the UK, but the U.S., if the men there say that you're a hot mess and they're not wifing you up, you're not going to go to Italy, Portugal or Brazil and get a man unless he's trying to get a visa.
I gotta contradict that because I'm the digital nomad, right? I'm the person who's traveling and going to these places. However,
here goes I'm the exception to the rule. Let me tell you my story first, and that obviously could be applied to the average person. Hold on, here's how you're wrong, because my singular experience counters everything.
I will say that I have an open mindset that I'm going in culturally, and to you guys' point, I want to study from the A student, right? I want to understand their culture more.
What do you disagree with?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just providing a different perspective of a woman.
You said you disagree with that, so I was just wondering, disagree with what? What part of what he said?
Oh, no. I'm following behind Melanie here. Or I'm sorry, with the fact of women not being able to do that. And so I'm saying, as a digital nomad who is doing that, who has been doing that since the pandemic, my experience has been different. But it's because I'm coming into these cultures and I'm understanding, to your point, I'm studying the A student, your submissive nature, your culture, right? What are we not doing in America that we should be doing better, right? Because we aren't getting it over there. So that's been my mindset. So I've literally been in Portugal. I'm literally in London. And that's great. Getting hit on from guys all the time who are seriously wanting relationships. They're wanting marriage. And it's because
Bro, does someone turn around and tell her they're just telling you that because they want to sleep with you? Like, you see how excited she is about, there's men that want a serious relationship. There's men that want to get married with me. Are you what?
Type 2 adult onset diabetes.
Come on, man. Really? This is how clueless they are. Really?
I'm making friends in these different cultures and they're teaching me, be submissive, learn a little bit. And this is how we serve our men. This is how we cater to them. This is how we are, providing that. And I'm honestly, American women should be doing it more. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
It is.
Sorry.
Let me comment on something real quick. Sarah said something that was incredibly important, and I just don't want us to skip through it because it was so important.
Diabetes.
You said that the direction or the way that we are moving right now is leading to the fall of our society.
That's correct.
And if you think about what has been the cornerstone to build the West, the cornerstone has been hard-working men.
Perfect.
Hard-working men. But the hard-working man today gets no respect.
That's right.
None.
The sanitation worker, the construction worker, the plumber.
Nope.
They get no respect
None.
today. And it's just, that's why on my channel, I ensure that these men get airtime frequently. The oil rig workers. All shit, if you just strip them off today, our world would be in calamity, even today. And these same exact men.
Shout outs to the boys that are doing hard ass labor jobs. It is no joke.
Don't get respect.
Yep.
And the thing is, I think to myself, like, what? Why is that? The modern woman today has been tricked that her education is correlated to her intelligence, or it's correlated to the type of man that she is owed.
Her worth is equivalent to that. Yeah.
And it's bullshit. So here's the thing. Digital nomad. Would you date a blue collar man?
A
hardworking man?
Absolutely.
Talk about
I'm dating right now. I mentioned that. That's my status in dating. And
what's he do?
He drives. He's a driver.
He's a trucker. Shout out to the truckers out there.
Driver. Yep. So I absolutely, and not to mention just a digital nomad, I'm a business attorney, right? I went to college at 16. I definitely have accolades, but I'm not leading that as my forefront. I didn't come from that.
I'm a PhD.
I'm trying to be. That's not what I lead with, right? I very rarely even. It's not that I'm hiding it, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to get to know you for you. What is your character like? What are you? That's what I want to marry. That's what I'm interested in. So I don't really care what you do, honestly, because my mindset is as a woman, as a wife, what a wife brings to the table, honey, is I'm going to equip and value us. If you got a dream and a mission, baby, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna flourish it. I'm going to cultivate it because that's what I believe women are purposed to do, right?
Yeah, but do you believe that men from other countries are looking at women in America specifically thinking, I want that American woman?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I approach it differently, right? I'm not coming over there as the American girl. I'm coming over. I have friends in the culture. I'm in their culture. I'm immersed, and now they're interested in me, right? They're like, "What's different about you?" Right? You're not the American girl. You're not who we see on TV. You're not the culture, and it sparks conversation. And then they get to see me, and they're talking to me, and they're like, "It's something different about her." Just like Camille, you can notice a unicorn in the room by how she speaks, how she talks. That's how you know a wife is how she talks.
I think the downfall of America, specifically as a Brit, as one of the only Brits on this panel, right? I think one of the downfall of Americans has been the ego. And Americans for very long have thought that America is the world, right? And so the world kind of revolves around America and it's the greatest nation, not realizing that all of this other time, the rest of the world has always existed. The Saudi Arabias, I don't know, the Thailands, the Philippines, the African nations, and then what's happened is the ego has grown so big that it started to kind of implode on itself when it comes to America. And everyone's like, we were trying to tell you.
Just be a billionaire, bro. Jack Stone, listen to Bo, keep grinding, stay healthy, quit porn. I'm 41, running a successful business. 1 more year to my second graduate degree. Bo's doing important work. Support him. Thanks for everything, brother. Cheers from Serbia. Shout out to you, Jack. Thank you, brother.
Trying to tell you, you need to be a little bit more humble. So it's happening with the women specifically in America. And I love American women. Like I really do. I think American women are great. But I'm saying the ego that has been allowed to inflate itself, and then what is going to happen is the rest of the world are actually watching and laughing at the women in America. That, oh my God, look at these women. They literally. I've seen women.
Yeah, his takes are pretty simple. It is what it is, but
women in America literally have a
vibratory
conversation,
I guess,
and make a video about how good it is and how much better of a man it is than her man. And
no
I'm like,
shame. No
the
shame.
average Modern Woman podcast,
shame.
they all are sponsored by men, by women's devices.
I'm just like, what? No other woman outside of America would do that.
Can I be honest? As an American woman, I thought like that, and I will own it. And it wasn't for me. And this is what I think is happening in American culture is that we are under this disillusion and we have this ego and we thinking that we're better and we're not going to push our men away. And, oh, I deserve to be married. And for me, I personally had to have this life awakening. And it happened to me around 28, 29. And I literally had to stop dating for a season. I went to therapy. I went to counseling. And I had to change how I thought and I viewed things and what my positioning was and what I needed to do differently. So Lauren wouldn't look at herself at 60 and go, oh, I didn't take accountability, right? Back to our word for the evening. I didn't take accountability and that's why I'm single, right? So I had to do that. And I'm now yielding the results of that. It took some time. It's a garden. I had to cultivate it, had to get some ground in there. And now we're 7 years in and I'm seeing the harvest of that. The men that I attract quality, even though they might not be top tier jobs and things like that, but their character, it sets them apart. And that's what I want is your character, not necessarily your job.
Amen. So did you hear what she said? She said she had to take accountability. She owned up to that. The way you just spoke and talked about how you had to own your stuff, you rarely hear that from women, and especially in the U.S. And I think the reason why the U.S. we have such a big head is because we own entertainment, and entertainment owns culture. So Hollywood, music, all of that, we've spread to the world through that. Our tendrils have reached culture. We're not talking about military and all that, but if we just talk about that, we own movies, television, and music. It's period. And so it has gone out. Like, I remember I would go to another country and our movies would be on with subtitles. And I'm like, or I would meet people from other countries like, oh yeah, I know Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I'm like, you grew up with that? And they're just like, yeah, but they would grow up with the subtitles. And I used to be as American. I'm just like what? Like, that's weird to me. Like, why don't you have your own? But I think it's because
laughing at us.
Exactly. Oh, I think for marriage, I think men. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Sarah, who do you think's more afraid of commitment, men or women?
Oh, I think for marriage, I think men.
Men.
Yeah.
What do you think, men or women?
I think it's equal, but women are afraid of commitment because they feel like they're going to lose their life, which is a false fear. Men are afraid of commitment because they fear they're going to lose their livelihood, which is a real fear.
Ooh,
come on, bars after bars.
I feel like she's like a sage. I just want Maggie, come move in with me.
What do
give me
you think,
wisdom.
men or women?
I think it's 50-50 as well. I agree with you. That women, they don't want to feel like they're missing out, and they don't want to feel. It depends on the culture, because I was speaking to a woman from Nigeria, and she was saying about how her and her ex-husband, before they could get that
I mean, think about this, man. You work hard, you bust your ass all through your 20s, start a business or whatever, get high up in the company you're working at. You slaved away for a better part of a decade or so. And now you're finally starting to attract women. And now you're being told to settle down real quick with some chick that's 30 plus also, while she had her fun in her 20s, just screwing away all her value on yachts, private parties, and islands. No. This guy that now barely is having his own fun, barely bearing the fruits of his labor, is now being told, you need to do the right thing and man up. Forget all these hoes giving you attention. Settle down and get married. Of course, that guy doesn't want to settle down and get married. Then there's the real fear of, I could lose most of what I've worked for a better part of a decade. Some men, their whole lives. Over what? Somebody that changes their mind because of midlife crisis and now she wants to smash the pool boy? Like, that's a real risk. A woman's risk, like that woman here said, is it's a false risk. She doesn't want her life to end. What really means is, I don't want my options to go away, because once there's a ring on my finger, all my little orbiters disappear for good. They know I'm off limits. That's what it is. She has to make sure she marries the highest value guy she possibly could, and not let another guy that's showing promise or potential in the future pass up the man she chose. Dude, think about it. If you marry guy A and he tops out at 120, but guy B was there orbiting and he was an option for later and he tops out at $500,000 in 10 years or so, you're going to feel like you made the wrong decision. That's what it is.
Divorce, it would be loads of family meetings. And now she worries for her children because, well, not necessarily because, she's the head of the family, but if it was to be that they wanted to go into marriage, everyone would kind of be involved, like, especially on the woman's side. So I think it depends on the culture.
Could you guys pick one if you have to pick, men or women?
So the question was, who is afraid more of commitment?
Mm-hmm.
Women.
Women?
Men.
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 I had a hypothesis when I started this that the older people in the room would say men and the younger people would say women, because the younger men don't know. But it didn't really go out like that. So I guess I wasn't right.